Southwestern Action Group presents the Fenceline Hardcore Community Open Mic segment right here on www.caribbeanpulse.net. Let your voice be heard. Join us now as we expose the truth.
It could come from bottom or top. Let me help Gary lock them up.
Chuve morning just as the band start raining in Scotch Row, jamming tight with a Lego. Pretty little Yankee tourist at that. She says she come down from Halifax and she never see carnival, so she come to join in the bacchanal. She want to go jump and play she must just like an Antiguan. She want to go jump up and join in a Juve jam, join in the greatest vehicle of expression, jumping in the steel band, dancing in the sun. She want to romp, she want to dance, she want to jump, she want to prance, she want a man, she want to jam, she blood run call every time she hear a pan roll. Dang dang li dang 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 dang. She want to romp and shake she waist, she want to make mass in the place, she want to romance with a man, she want to wine 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 roll 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 roll, jump 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 jump. From the start, you could see the girl of the art with Calypso and we still band. Man, she really loved the jam session. Quietly, the girl said to me, "Shorty, what a glorious symphony. The music seems to fill you with rage and make you feel like you're on a stage. Oh, what an artistic excitement moment of history. I gotta have beauty, festival of dance, song and spree. The melody, the harmony, look the rhythm, swinging in she bring, driving she insane. She want to rock, she want to dance, she want to jump, she want to prance, she want a man, she want to jump, she blood run cold every time she hear a pan and roll. Badang lang dang badang badang bang. She want to romp and shake she waist, she want to make mass in the place, she want to romance with a man, she want to wine 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 roll roll. Jump 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 romp 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 romp. Mass for so look the pan man them and the go. Everybody shouting with glee, whining shaking their body. The place well hot and the music sweet. Prancing feet ignited the street, and then she couldn't take it no more. Suddenly the woman explode with an ungraceful wobble, just like if she was swimming, jumping without timing, singing with a strange harmony, Johnson chipping man like if she go fall down. Two bottle of white rum and an each yam. She want to romp, she want to dance, she want to jump, she want to prance, she want a man, she want to jump, she blood run call every time she hear a pan and roll. Badang dang badang 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 dang 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 dang. She want to romp and shake she waist, she want to make mass in the place, she want to romance with a man, she want to wine 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 roll roll.
Southwestern Action Group presents the Fenceline Hardcore Community Open Mic segment right here on www.caribbeanpulse.net. Let your voice be heard. Join us now as we expose the truth.
It could come from bottom or top. Let me help Gary lock them up.
So it's good night and welcome to the segment once again. The Southwestern Action Group Fenceline Hardcore Community Open Mic brought to you every Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on www.caribbeanpulse.net. I'm yours truly on the inside, yes, and online with me already is the whole clip boy. And the music in the background, our total local Thursday night. Yes, it's Holy Thursday in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, of course, and I'm yours truly, taking you to the next level. And let me say a special good night to our senior counsel, Mr. Russell, aka the unknown Calypsonian, and brother John Ishmael Williams boy. Hey, and we have a very important guest tonight on the segment as well, Mr. John Solomon boy. Hey, good night, my brother. And Mr. Sheldon Nugget, the man from Nugget Vision. So, guys, what's happening is that yes, we're here to talk. Welcome to the broadcast. Let the listeners know that you guys on board. Good night.
Hey, brother Mark, on sick bed tonight, boy. I can't make it.
You're on sick bay. Well, it's nice. It's nice for you to still, stick around and listen, or whatever.
I
So
go listen.
nice. So to the rest of the guys on the Coliseum, brother John Ishmael, yes, make your presence known to all the guys. Yes.
Yes, Al Ishmael here. You're always failing to call my sobriquet. Al Ishmael, please.
All right. Thanks for the correction, sir. Right. So thanks for joining. Thanks for coming on board, brother John Solomon. What's up with you guys? Your neck of the woods.
Good night, all. Good night, all. It's nice to be here again.
Nice man. Welcome. Same on the side. Nice to have you. Right. So we here. I want to leave the floor open at this point in time, so that I just want to run away for a minute. So anybody want to come forward? Brother Sheldon Nugget, what's up?
I'm here, man. Just listening and paying attention to things that are being said,
Nice.
and it's good to be here.
You're moving like the observer boy.
Well, we done talk that already.
Nice. That's good to have an observer on board. So guys, well, the Coliseum is about highlighting whatever issue that is affecting us in our communities and our neck of the woods, and bringing it to the forefront, talking about it in a very, very diplomatic way to protect yourself and the broadcast as well. So let us move forward with whatever. The floor is open for anybody to, come forward and raise something, man. But John Solomon, I know you're a man who wasn't here for a couple weeks. Well, so let us hear what's going on with your neck of the woods.
In my neck of the woods, today as I was with the MP from Mayaro in Siparia. You walk around and saw the Holy Thursday proceedings
Mm-hmm.
this afternoon. We went into the church and said prayers, and he was telling me that this is his first time in Siparia,
Wow.
and he was very impressed with the proceedings, but he had one little issue. Um, the homeless persons that would traverse to Siparia for this celebration. It's kind of difficult to understand. Looking at some of them, I really doubt that they're really homeless. I'm looking at some people wearing jewelry, and they're claiming that you're watching. I watching people with so many little children, and you're passing on like, red man, wait out for we. what to say. Huh? So this is a topic that we could talk about. I mean, but like Separia, I mean, Holy Thursday and Separia, I'd like to see it grow and become something better, something with more than just selling vegetables and sweets and craft. To become something better in Separia. So I like people to anybody else give their views. If anybody else.
Well, I was wondering if nobody didn't notice things like that because here what? Right in San Fernando there, between the two banks, between Royal Bank and Republic Bank, there's a lady, a Venezuelan, with about four little children, and mostly every day she's there, just seated, waiting on a little handout, begging people and whatever the case may be. And I don't know where the authorities are. Nobody has seen that. The children is school age, and you see them there every day. So in fact, they're not going to school or nothing like that. And I wonder, well, if everybody really turn a blind eye to a situation like that. Yeah, well, I hope, well, as I say this tonight, I hope that the authorities will look into it, I really hope the authorities will look into it. There also a blind man at that area there, and he have a little daughter. The little daughter seemed to be like in preschool, and she comes there every evening, and she lead him straight up High Street, and boy, I was my heart go out to these people, and like everybody turning a blind eye. So I hope someone in the authority will will hear what I say and look into that situation. Okay, thanks.
Very, very interested. Very interested indeed. At this point, I step out for a minute, but I'm here again. Sorry about that. However, if I miss anything.
Most of the day they tell you they have an important appointment and they cannot see you. Coming back to what has you had said about the Holy Thursday in Superior, that is fast deteriorating because if you look around that area, it have two churches around it, it have two schools around it, coming down to the gas station, down to Queenham, and coming back onto Cora Road. The pavements is dilapidated across boroughs. People have this soul, and that has been going on for years. They're collecting some sort of money from all these people who are selling, and they're not providing anything adequate. If you look back late in the afternoon from 6 to 9, all these people are there whole night until Good Friday morning. The lighting facilities for those people, it's ludicrous to see they have to provide their own lighting. They won't bring down some extra lamps and focus on the area. Then to come across, but the unfortunate people is a disgrace to see how they treat those people when they come there. And if you look at the security for those people who are selling, it's left wanting to see that you know on a special day like that, there is little or no security, because if you look at all where the corners is and all where we are aware that things happen in Superior, there is no form of security. The lighting is bad. But these are the things, as you had mentioned, the mayor would not address that. He had already said he is known as the protesting mayor. So coming from a man who would only say that and not look at what is happening in the borough is a disgrace. Now, to confirm that everything goes around, and as you had said, is the people who put them there, but we pay too much party politics and not just what is good for any particular area. But for coming around, we put the wrong people in the right places. And that mayor is a disgrace for Superior, and all those other councillors on both sides of the eyes are very disgraceful for the new borough. And we have to blame the parties there, because how often you see those councillors for the area coming out to have an office where they'll be on a regular basis for touring the areas and meeting the people and asking them what is their needs. I have been regularly down in Cedras from the beginning, Ikakas from the beginning of the cricket season, because I do a lot of umpiring. I go down all the way down to Ikakas, and on that ground and umpire, I go down to the Fullerton ground and umpire. I also umpire in point as one of the guys who moves around. So I can tell you about how that area is in certain systems. I speak to the people when I'm down there. And it's so amazing that you have a counselor from there who always want showtime. He gives us showtime and nothing at all. And I'm not blaming him alone. All the other counselors, they're not bringing up the needs of the people. Because if you go back about 30 odd years, that time it used to be the St. Patrick County Council. Councillors in those times walk from Superior to Port of Spain in protest of what is going on in St. Patrick. And at that point in time, those were the majority of the NAR walked against their own party to meet the Minister of Local Government in Port of Spain. It took them 3 days. So you're not seeing that because those councillors are afraid to stand up against their own party because they may not fight for another term. And this is what is going on. And we have been left neglected. How often you see those councillors or even the MP coming across to look at what is the problem? If we go up to the MP, collaborate, how often you see him? But there's a lot more I can say, but I'll come back again as mentioned. I am feeling so well since I'm up here. So I'll send it back to you, Brother.
Thank you so much for making that contribution.
Yes.
Go ahead, Williams.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much for confirming that Cedros is in the borough as Superior. But I wanted to state here that even if we are in the borough of Superior, now we still have to form a bucket brigade from the sea to extinguish fires in Cedros. That is what we usually do. Form a bucket brigade from the sea to extinguish fires. Okay? We have roads, back roads that could form alternative routes if by chance emergency take place. Those roads are in a dilapidated condition. We're talking about traces like Jackson Trace. We're talking about Kanjak Trace. Okay, we're talking about Ashford Trace. Roads that could form alternative routes if a tree fall across the road, or a bushfire crossing the road. You understand? And those alternative routes, they are in a dilapidated state. So I wonder how you really spell borrow. I wonder if it's the same spelling for
But
the Borough Corporation.
comrade, you have to talk to a fella called Shankar Tilakson. If I wonder if he can spell borrow, he can spell your own name. He doesn't be living in the big yard when you're going down the road. Eh?
Oh, thanks so very much, sir.
Now, brother, I listen to what you're saying, right? And I want to draw something to everybody. I think Brother Mark know exactly what you're going to talk about. When you're going down, in Trinidad here, we just name places based on things, right? So we have a place going down the road we call where the Brazilian nuts are. They build a bridge to bypass because they're working on the main road. And two vehicles cannot pass on the bridge. The one have to stop for the other one to pass. But they build a bridge to divert the traffic. Come on, man. Only spend one set of money to build this thing. Why not build it big enough that two vehicles could pass comfortable on it? Right? So I understand what you're saying about Jackson Trace and all these places. We're spending stupid money in Trinidad, right? To do stuff that benefits nobody but the contractors and the big players in the game. You're building a highway, you're fixing the main road, you're doing this. But your primary roads that you could divert traffic with, you're not seeing about them at all. And it keep happening over and over. And then you're hearing how much money the state spend to rehabilitate roads. And the only person seem to be losing here is us, the citizens of Trinidad. I did a video in Kura Road. The Ministry of Works truck pull up. And the milling from the road, they point that in the water. The supervisor in charge telling me that will bind together. How on the earth could the milling from the road with dust in it bind together? Well, he realized that I know stupidity. So I started telling him, I said, partner, what you're doing there is the wrong thing, He said, boy, that's what the supervisor tell me to say, and that's what the supervisor tell me to do. So that's what we do it. But how will you be comfortable for doing that stupidness? When I passed back 2 days later, the road full of water and all the gravel make a speed bump on one side. That's all we the citizens of Trinidad keep over and over and over. But the borough of Siparia like that.
Well, in some countries, leadership reflects, because I have a concern, and my concern is what is the prototype that this country is upholding for quite a number of years as regards to the election of, starting from the top, of the president, which hold the highest office in this land. When you look at the people who participate in that election, it's just that is how you call it. That election to elect the president of this country. That is a high-profile election. The groundsman don't have no say. He don't have no vote as towards who we want as the president of our country.
What purpose does the president of Trinidad and Tobago serve?
And Mr. John, we're coming at, is how we come up with installing the mayor of our borough and what system is used. Are the people in the constituents of Separia and Lobre had any say? The citizens are talking about. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the party or whoever party. I'm talking about, and these are the flaws in the constitution that we here at the the Southwestern Action Group and on the Fence Line Hardcore Community Open Mic programs had been advocating for 3 years now. We are advocating for constitutional reform so we can fix these things. Nobody should be able to acquire or go into our office without the people's participation. Somebody want to say something? Oh, I thought somebody wanted to say something, but as the mics on the devices are not on mute, so I was wondering if somebody wanted to speak. So that's my concern. How? Okay, now that's something that I will really want to ask in any forum. Why are the citizens excluded in this decision making? And why are we not looking into serious constitutional reform in this country? Why? Why are we on this colonization and this democratic process that has retarded our twin island state for 100+ years? Why are we holding on to the system? And I am a very, very balanced person when it comes in, because on the last program that we had on Tuesday night, I make mention about the university in Debe, that the south campus that was 75% completed under the partnership, and 8 years after today, the children of the southern area, the southwestern peninsula, has not accessed that facility to acquire or further their education. And my big question is why? My big question is why these things have to be left undone, and so many other corrupted things that money is being spent and waste on is being waste. I overheard a conversation with some young people asking the Honorable Prime Minister some questions, and they were asking for assistance to further their education and to repair sporting facilities and all kind of thing. And this gentleman, he sounding like he don't have a clue as to what's going on in this country. And we are seeing a trend these days where a lot of guys hurrying to vocation in some certain countries too, because they know that we don't know what's going on with their personal business that they have going on in these other countries, right? So we have to endure under hardship, under mismanagement, under brutal force, and these are the things that I have a concern with as a concerned citizen. And any politician I am listening to these days, they are not speaking about issues that is affecting the citizens. All they are concerned with is leadership and to get into office. None of them has a clue, or they have no recovery ideas that they exposing or they informing and educating the citizens about in this country. Our rights and our freedom, our democratic rights are being taken away. We cannot protest. We cannot protest as a people who have 160 years of oil and gas track record. And this is the condition of our community that the gas and oil came from, the southwestern peninsula. This is where we living in the slums. My position is to really foster some support from the international community. But there's so much happening in the international community that we cannot really look for no help from the UN or from Putin or from nobody. The citizens in this country have to take up a serious revolutionary stand and stand up against these oppressors, stand up against these wrongdoers, and let us bring these guys to justice. Let them face the judges and let them explain the wealth. Explain the wealth just as how they are demanding that the poor people explain the wealth. Let these big boys explain the wealth. When we come back, we will further talk. And yes, guys, we are on the Southwestern Action Group. Southwestern Action Group presents the Fenceline Hardcore Community Open Mic segment right here on www.caribbeanpulse.net. Let your voice be heard. Join us now as we expose the truth.
It could come from bottom or top. Let me help Gary lock them up.
Yes, guys, remember we are on every Tuesdays and Thursday right here on www. That's the link. Share it. We are also streaming on the other social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, stuff like that. So we're keeping it strict, we're keeping it friendly, we're keeping it nice. Our intention is to partner with any politician from any political party for open discussion, because we are the Southwestern Fence Line. When we say fence line, we mean that we are not affiliated to any political group, but we open for discussion because what we are looking at is that this population of 1.3 million people is too small for a prime minister and a cabinet of 41 MPs and so on and so forth, and junior ministers and so forth. The country is overburdened with that administrative fees that we pay in these guys on a monthly basis, and is getting no goods and services coming back to us. You might want to agree with me. But in some countries, when a situation arises, the first person that take the salary cut is the president. You know why? Because he understands that if he set the trend, and if the fish don't appear to be rotten from the head, then good things will come down to the people. Don't cut and deal with the small man first. Deal with yourself first. I am making a call because I know this social media goes as far as wide as Egypt, Israel, Nigeria, and we are seeing what is taking place in the outer world, and we need to speak up as well. We as citizens in this country need to let the international community know what is trending in our country, the oppression that is taking place with only a handful of people living like kings and lords here, and pressuring the small man, and they're not coming down off the throne. They're demanding additional increase in their wages. They're not taking a pay cut. They're not delivering. Look at that highway to Point and that scenario on the creek. That highway to Point should have been built within 12 months' time. How many years now that project going on with how many billion and million of dollars just washing and washing? We could have built highway right around Trinidad and Tobago from the time that little piece of highway started to build from there to Point, with equipment and manpower and everything else. What are we looking at? What are these politicians doing as regards to delivery of their goods and services? Let me say good night to Mr. Anthony Tallblack's calendar and Sister Ingrid from the island of Tobago. So we have Tobago in the building with us. And good night, guys, and welcome to the Fenceline Hardcore Community Open Mic. You know, this is a program. We have so many activities happening on Caribbean Pulse now. We have Let's Talk Calypso on a Wednesday night at 8:15 with Honorable Dr. George Mahad from out there in Toronto. We want to ask you guys to share the information. Then we have the Fenceline project on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So some people might want to be in politics, but this is the forum for everything. This is the forum that we discuss issues, we discuss what is affecting us in our communities. We discuss sports, culture, agriculture, everything. So it is time that we set some precedents in the various constituents and let us start to take action as citizens. There is a law that is dormant that we are not using in this country as it is written in the Constitution, where the citizens have a right to make arrests. So let us play them with their own game. So you don't want to amend the Constitution? Let us reverse the psychology now and start arresting you, just how you arresting us. When you fail to deliver, every politician should be held responsible for your actions and for that oath that you take to serve the people. I'm taking a small break, guys, because I find I'm talking a lot. Anybody else could agree with what I'm saying or disagree with what I said. I have no problem.
Yeah.
Come on, brother Black. So we hear you. I hear you a long time.
I want to ask a question. How does that tongue become a borough now? What is the criteria for that?
Senior counsel, you need to take that question.
Okay. How that comes from that goes through Parliament. Minister local government will take that resolution about what he feels about certain areas, just how Separia and Dilmartin becomes borough from the minister local government. He takes that to Parliament. The people of the area, they have no say in that. We could march and we could protest, and then they may listen. But nobody said anything. They was glad to be a borough, and it passed in Parliament, and so it becomes. It have to, somebody had to take it up, and usually that come from the minister local government. And that come from the then minister who was the guy before Faris Alwari. I think his name was the former minister local government. He started it.
Okay.
I think I go bring up his name there just now, man.
He's now Minister of
Faris Al-
Agriculture.
Yes, he's now Minister of Agriculture, yes.
Kazim Hussein.
Kazim, who's the 90 man, he started it, and Paris take it up, and Parliament bring it into law. So it's nothing the citizens do.
That answer your
Nobody
question,
from
Brother
the-
Sheldon? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You're clear with that clarification, right?
Yeah, man.
Verification, right? Affirmation, right? So it's all about disseminating positive energy and the correct thing, because by the meantime we have to maintain the respect. No mind the Radiant deserve the respect, but on this calcium here defense line, you see, we are about setting a different trend. And what I was going to say is that at this time in this country, we really don't need a prime minister anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know if Jesus did.
Well, let me hear. I don't want to hear Brother Blacks, because I hear, you just see a thing blowing in the wind. I hear he was one of the man campaigning with the issue that if the regional corporation Separia Digo Martin becomes borough, he could fight for Princess Song to become a borough too. Brother Blacks, you have any thought on that?
Well, like I told you, good evening, everyone, all the brothers and Lady Ingrid. You know how to lasso people and pull them in the ring, and that is good. You know to lasso human beings and pull them. But well, by Princess Town, from where it was to where it is now, Princess Town is a bright place. So I'm hoping that in the next 2-3 years it becomes a borough, because there's like a equation, Princess Town is like a equation. So if ever you are in the heart of Princess Town there on the promenade, That is where you're seeing standard. What we ever know is speaking about math. Everybody passes through there from Yarrow, wherever you are, to go to Southern, you know what I mean? So I mean, warrior, I mean, midfielder, yes. Maybe not timing, we love that. So I'm paying attention because I know kind of switching, so I'm listening to the brothers, you know what I mean? And you all, you know, you all are legoing bois as usual. You know?
I would like to hear from the other brothers on the forum tonight what they think about the issue about the property tax and how it was came about. Because if you look at it clearly, the same people they have going about in certain areas, are these people qualified to be assessors? What training they had? Because you look in certain areas, one house to the next house, one house may be in better condition than the other house, but the value they give that house is more than the value that is looking at the other house. Because what you're finding is people in that who doing that job, they have friends and a studio say, don't worry, man, we go fix you up. But the genuine question is how qualified they are and what is the method they are using. Listen, did the state provide training for these people? Are they adequately trained? And who train these people for the job? So there's a great disparity about what's going on, because if you look at your property, you already paid a large stamp duty, and stamp duty was risen in the last couple of years by the state. So now you're paying tax upon tax. Let's assume for one reason or the other, after a period of time, it been on your tax and you couldn't pay that, and you pass it on to a relative who could not pay that. What does happen now? The state comes in. They take that and they can sell it to who they want. Because with this new system, a lot of people were exempted. Who are the people that were exempted? Why were they exempted? And it is unfair now for we to be paying for them. So that should be repealed. Let me hear what the other brothers think about it.
So, let me rewind a little. The Minister of Finance said that 50% of the population or more was in agreement for property tax. How did he come about with that figure? Where is his proof that 50% or more of the population agreed for property tax? Now, you didn't remove building taxes, or you didn't reduce taxes. You didn't reduce stamp duty. You didn't remove anything for the consumer or the working class man, as we put it. It's property tax to us. We were paying $10 a year land and building taxes for your house. You didn't say, well, we will increase by $100 before you find that property tax too harsh, because coming out of COVID, people there have work. They can come out and say, well, we will introduce $100 a year for the first year. The second year, we go to $200 for the year. The third year, we go to $300 for the year, and we cap it there for a period of time for when the country recover from the economic crisis that it was in. And then we could talk property tax again. No. They just jam us with it. And the goodly Prime Minister have the audacity to tell the public he don't care if he lose election, but property tax have to stay. Is this somebody who cares about the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, or cares about himself? I think the property tax should be repealed. That's my take on it. It should be taken away. You're telling me that property tax, if we pay in property tax, we will have a better water system, But $3 trillion spent in Trinidad. $3 trillion spent in Trinidad. And the water system is not rain falling, we having flood. And people are complaining that we don't have enough water in the reservoirs. So then where the water going? When last the dredge was? You're telling me that you're telling me that it costing $6,000 a month for my garbage to be picked up by my door. Really? I think, I mean, they feel the people in Trinidad, they're backward. They feel that it's so illiterate that whatever they throw to the public domain, that we will just accept it. Trinidad don't want to accept those nonsense anymore. We have to think. We need to stand up and say no to property tax. We're not paying it.
Now, I want to talk for myself here. I want Mr. Senior Counsel to listen to me good. Mr. Senior Counsel, I am a retiree. I depending on NIS to live. Mr. Senior Counsel, where again money to pay property tax?
No, I hear you, brother. And that happened for a lot of people. Firstly, the minister did not come out and say how many property owners we have in Trinidad and Tobago. So how you deprive at 50%? 50% are what? So now, when we get caught in a little jam, we bring it from three to two. But that should be repealed because, as Mr. Solomon was saying, we just came out of a pandemic. We have so many people lose their jobs. If you look at the employment rate in Trinidad and Tobago, where it was, where it is, and where it will go, this is what the nitty-gritty they are not telling you. Look at the difference in wage with the CPEP worker to the corporation worker to the borough worker to various parts of the ministries and the private industries. There's a wide bracket. Look at what minimum wage is. But one of the problems we have with the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we care too much about the party we support and we do not care about ourselves because nobody wants to march. As we had said on this program, if Trinidad and Tobago, the people are serious, every Friday we should shut down Trinidad and Tobago until it is improved. And we don't want to go to Port of Spain. You get 2,000 people or 3,000 people could shut down Point, 2,000 to shut down Sapaya, 5,000 to shut down San Fernando, 3,000 to shut down Princeton.
I want to answer, please.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. I am 68 years, right? You see, I like to go around in a circle now. I can remember in the 60s, a pound of sugar, I think 6 cents or 8 cents, something like that. You know what I mean? Things was cheap. In the 60s, car was cheap. Way back when, 50 years ago, car was cheap. And I don't think Trinidadians need sugar to go back to, let me say, 10 cents a pound. It cannot, right? But I live in that day. I learn about life, Yeah, I used to put away $1 in a big plastic bottle every day, $1. And I didn't think about it, $1. $1, sometimes $2. Just dump it. Right. That is part two. Now, next week Tuesday, I am going to start to pay on my tax. I can pay $100 next week Tuesday. Okay? Now Mark know where I live, right? Mark came by me here to drop me home more than once, right? So Mark know the size of my house. I have a extra part where I had years and I'm now almost in it now. So mine would have been about $400 a year but now it might be 299 a year. I don't have that, right? Grocery stuff 50 years ago was cheap. Labor in the 60s, people used to go for work and I think $100 a month, right? Taxes 50 years ago, 60 years ago was I think $10. So like people still want to pay. Oh God, let me laugh first. Oh God, don't worry. People still want to pay $10 a year. But I mean, this is my point of view. So I don't mind paying anything. I may be the only joker who's saying this, right? But Trinigonians, you have money to do everything else. To drink a beer, to play a mark, to line, and to see about their own, I'll repeat, to see about their own self business. That's a problem. But I believe in it. Thanks for
All
letting me
right, Brother
speak.
Black,
Brother Tolbert,
what you telling me?
Brother
Go ahead.
Tolbert, listen to me carefully. You know, certain politicians of this era, they realize what's going on with retirees. They realize that retirees surviving on a NIS for 5 years before they could get an old age pension, right? So concerned politicians, modern politicians, made sure that we could travel on the bus free. They make sure we could travel on the Tobago ferry free and things like that. If the politicians of today was so concerned, why they don't exempt us as people over 60 years, retirees, have us exempted from that property tax? That would have been showing a lot of concern. Bye.
I am not
Well said,
poor.
brother.
To
Well
begin,
said.
midfielder way. You see me, I am not poor. You see that poor talk? I ain't that poor talking. I ain't poor. Because I ain't have to go clock Sunday in no labas, inside labas and look for teeth. I ain't no poor. I am not poor. I'll never be poor. Since I know myself, I always love to work and help me. So I was never poor and I'll never be poor. At 68, I'm happy. I'm not poor. You see that poor talk? Not me, brother. Me not poor. Right. Right.
Well, it seems, brother Black, you happy with paying the taxes and you applaud that decision made by the government. But now what you telling me, you just think about yourself and you're thinking about the unfortunate people in Trinidad and Tobago due to circumstances. Because if we go back, who closed down the oil refinery and who suffered? Who closed down the sugar factory? Who get rid of the rice? Who get rid of the cocoa and who get rid of the sugar? Where that was mainstream revenue for Trinidad and Tobago. For the past 100 years, we've been dependent on oil and gas. Where it had other areas, we could have been self-sufficient. And the politician did not see it fit to fix that. If we go back for the past 62 years, there's only three different parties that had power for 5 years, and the rest was the dominant of the PNM. I don't like to go there, but it is the greatest form of transport in the world was the train. Who closed it down? Now you telling me how often you stand up and wait on the bus on time? How often? Look at the condition of the roads. We paying taxes for that. So you want to take more taxes on our roads and not fix. How do you like the water system?
Are you going
How
to
do you like
pay? Who don't want to pay that? Are you going to pay? Who don't want to pay? I don't have about that, but I know I'm going to pay. And next thing, using and breaking castle was thieves. People were thieving. They don't forget that part. Sugar people were thieving. They were thieving. They would thief workers and supervisors. Don't forget that part. They were
Gentlemen,
thieving. So
gentlemen, we have Lady Ingrid Matthews from Tobago trying to make a point. So please allow Miss Ingrid. Yes, Lady.
Pleasant good night, pleasant people. How are you going?
Great, good. Bless, bless.
Tall Black, You go and pay. Who you going and pay? That is on hold.
No, no, no,
And
no, no, no. I
and
have to Princess
that
Town. You could pay, so I go and pay $100 next week. No, no, you could still pay. You could still pay, so I go and pay. You could still pay. You could still pay. You could still
you
pay.
have to wait. I'm going to pay now.
No,
It's still
no,
being debated.
no, no, no. I asked Princess Town have the office. I asked you could pay. Yeah, you could pay still. People still paying. So I go and pay. Darling,
Okay,
I
I hear.
will pay.
How is everybody? How is everybody?
Quiet. Excellent.
Well, darling, I'm happy.
In good
I
health.
happy to be alive.
Nice,
I happy to be alive.
nice. I'm good, but I'm missing you guys, man.
Oh, I know that. We know that.
I'm missing you guys. I'm
Yeah,
real
yeah,
missing you
yeah.
guys.
Yes, yeah. Only
Baron sang this song to somebody.
only thinking about how sweet down there is. Oh God, oh, but you see, next year I will live, and next year, if I have to swim from here, if I have to swim to come in.
Brother Black,
Listen all the time.
Brother Black, you don't have to swim, you know. You don't have to swim because you supporting Tuco. The Tuco give you a ticket to go.
Yes,
No,
you go.
already, but you pay $40 to go, but $50 to go, but we told all the skin now.
So,
Yes, let's hear what Lady IB has to say, please.
just want to stray from the topic a little bit. I think that tax thing should be repealed because I see a paper come here where I used to pay $10 a year is 490 something dollars now. But I'm not worrying about that because I have to see the breakdown. So they need to discuss that. Let them discuss it. I'm not running and pay nothing because if it's good for one, it's good for all. Yeah, if I have to pay. Everybody else have to pay. You understand? And I watch a program every night. Real talk with Said Ali. I believe in that gentleman. Okay, Eastern Tobago. The entertainers will be featured in the Mount Pleasant Sports and Family Day. You know, thank God there are people out there who still see and see the words in us. Because giving some people a chance who have never been there, although it's just walking distance. And I'm happy. I have 4 artists inside along with myself, so that's 5. And as usual, Sunday, I'm not keeping harvest, but I'm cooking food because I love to share. So anybody pass across and all the down the road are vexed. People come from over for the radio station.
So, guys, you hear it. You hear it. If you're in Tobago, you're listening to us and you're across on the Sister Island, you can catch Sister IB and some of the artists from the Entertainers Calypso tent performing down there. Miss IB, where that's at Owen Park.
Yeah. But
Right.
it gonna be nice.
And that would be so nice to have the local entertainers entertaining the community of Camby,
Yeah.
Tobago. So Camby will be on fire, and I know that we are accustomed up there
It's,
coming across every year, but unfortunately this year we still in Trinidad. We ain't leave yet, but hopefully
we didn't get to plan properly. We didn't
uh,
get to plan properly.
that's what. So
But
let me say good night as
Queen
well.
Bee,
Sorry guys.
Queen Bee, let
yeah.
me interject. All who paying taxes and getting no food.
Ingrid, Ingrid, I saw the names. Ingrid, I saw the names.
Tell you
Ingrid,
something about it. A lot of people don't know
Ingrid,
who Lady I. It's
Ingrid, I saw
Lady
the
I.
names.
You know,
Ingrid, Ingrid, I
some
saw the
listen,
names. Oh, Lord.
some to talk and draw their own circle about Lady IB. But Lady IB, I'm a blessed one. I know I am blessed. Yeah, because
One name
there's not one day, all during COVID, there's not one day Lady IB haven't gone to bed hungry. Yeah, and I always have something to share. And I just get my blessings,
You like me,
you know.
Lady Ivy?
So I be there and I be sharing food Sunday, man.
Lady
Come
Ivy, I
on.
saw the names. Lady Ivy, I saw the names, but but but
Yeah.
but, but one name I'm missing there. I saw everything on Facebook, but one name I'm missing there. Justice. Justice not
No,
there.
no, justice not there. Sando there.
Yeah, I
And
know
and
she.
and I cooking chicken, pork, fish, crab, and one name I can't call. I don't know.
Send me chicken to my WhatsApp. I don't know pork, but send it to me WhatsApp now, right?
So
Yeah,
guys,
what
I'm
that
looking at
more?
the time, guys. Please mute your mic if you're not are you through with your contribution, Queen IB?
Yes, 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 yes. I
Right.
don't have much to say.
Right. So
I
guys,
will.
again, we will I will try to pull up that ad and give that promotion some power. So let me say good night to Mr. Russell Ramkisoon as well. Sorry for not recognizing you, my brother, on the Coliseum. Welcome to the broadcast, man. Fenceline Hardcore Community Open Mic.
Good night, everybody. Good night to the panel. Uh, uh, I have no problem with anybody saying that they're paying the property tax because that is their right to spend their money how they want to spend their money. However, there is a clause in the law as to how the money is to be allocated. And that clause is it is at the discretion of the Minister of Finance to allocate the funds. So when you spend your money and you pay your property tax, I am 99.99% sure that your contributions would not go back into your community to fix your roads as the government has presented it to the public. So persons who saying that they have no problem paying the taxes, I have no problem with you because I believe it's anybody's right to spend their money how they want to spend their money. But the the seat of the government is saying that all the money going to be allocated back into your community. I think that is very important that people know where their money is going because this government has no accountability on it whatsoever. And looking forward, it will be they would have the right to take all the money allocated through property tax and put it under government expenditure. And anybody who thinks that is fair and that is right, please share your opinion because it's not a matter of paying the money. It's a matter of where the money is going because they're not using the road and the road tax on the gas to fix the roads because the roads deplorable. So if that fails and that was a proper allocation and it's in the law, then what we really doing and what we contributing to.
Russell, I totally agree with what it is you're saying. And the the Minister of Finance knew exactly what he was doing by not putting something in place to prevent the Ministry of Finance of accessing the fund, rerouting the fund to do what they want to do with it and not what it was designed to do. It was a willful act by the Minister of Finance in doing that.
Now taking that concept and putting it throughout the rest of government operations and projects in Trinidad and Tobago. Where you think your money will go, not where the politicians feel like putting it.
Well, my concern is what I am concerned about really in this scenario is every manjack, talking from president to prime minister to minister, to MP, to councillor, to the layman, to the poor man. Once that is law, at that level, I have no problem. But don't tell me that you're exempting all of these big conglomerates. They don't have to pay no tax. And the small man had to feel that blunt to maintain all their lifestyle. Wake up, citizens, wake up, Trinidad and Tobago, wake up. And I know it's a losing battle. I will tell you why it is a losing battle, because there are so many unregularized people who are occupying state land, and I don't want to say squatting. I don't want to use that derogative kind of statement. Every citizen deserves a piece of land on this blessed Trinidad and Tobago that we born and grow in. So don't tell me I is a vagrant. Don't tell me I is squatting here. Regularize me. Give me my piece of land. I want my piece of land to be mine. So let me fix that. Let me fix all of these unregularized citizens. Give them the deed. Give them the property. And then we could talk. But don't tell me after 8 years, when they started to break the house in Palo Seco, in School Road, Santa Flora, and we took up 700 signatures of homeowners who are identified as squatters in and around Palo Seco, in the community here in which I live. And to date, if the MP for Labre or the Ministry of Local Government or whoever is in charge, could tell me that they regularize 600 persons out of that 700 plus signatures that we have. Mr. Ramdeen has the document. Mr. Ramdeen volunteered his time to come, and because we didn't have money to take a lawyer to file an injunction to stop the breaking of the houses for the poor people in this community, and that was the power of the people. That is the power of the people that we supposed to be getting involved in everything that we're doing. But if we want to do things on our own and feel that we could success and we could be success, no, it don't go down that way. I am calling calling on the community the communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago to take a position from now in moving forward, because this population is too niche for a prime minister, as I just say, and so many ministers and MPs and all of these different opposition and all of these different people in that parliament. This thing running like how they operated in Petrotrin, with one man working for $170,000 a month, and this next man, and all of the lavish living that used to be going on in beach camp here, they leave it unattended, under maintained, and fire come and burning down so much, $1 million in property, before they give it to the small people to occupy it and do something with it. What really happened? And these are the people who standing up and they playing loyalists to different political entities.
So
I can understand this. I know. Yes, sir.
where the $30 million in fire trucks is?
Good question. Very good question. Excellent.
The boat sink in the sea with the fire trucks out.
Nothing for the citizens, brother. Nothing.
Let me be real here, right? We're spending $30 million to buy 4 fire trucks.
Uh-huh.
Why it is we just didn't go by SMI in Trinidad here, so we purchased some trucks from Masti, or we purchased some trucks from Southern Sales, and we get the blueprints, and we build some fire trucks right by SMI that quite capable of doing it, and we put these trucks and them out into various fire stations. With 30 million, we might have get about 10 fire trucks. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? And
No, you're
we'd have
quite
been better off where we is right now.
you're quite right. But you wouldn't even have to buy the blueprint because you could have engineers. We have engineers in Trinidad that's capable of designing and
I,
utilizing
I,
concepts
I,
at the other thing. We
I
could,
give them a little money to spend now, brother. Buy the blueprint now. I give them a little money.
but then, Mr. Solomon, how would corruption strive if you have $50 million and a truck might cost you $500,000 and you buy three trucks, which is about $15 million. So, question now is where the other $15 million gone?
Somebody pocket now, brother. Hear this now. Hear this now. Hear this now. We putting out a budget every year of how much $1 billion. You telling me that the education ministry really spending $8 billion in education? I think
Yes,
that 50% is recurring expenditure. And nobody could tell you where the next 4 billion going. Because when your child going to school, every term you have to pay a fee for photocopying, a fee for this, a fee for toiletries. Just imagine this. You are paying for toiletries for primary school and secondary schools where children going to school. And the government is allocating so much $1 billion for education. Let me look right in, let me stray away from that. We're talking how much $1 billion the Ministry of National Security getting. The brand new boats that we make a fuss and we buy the other day, all of them pack up. It have one pirogue for the Coast Guard working in Trinidad. All the new boats pack up. When you're passing in Santa Flora Police Station, it becoming a Vemcot. But we buying brand new vehicles again and we giving them. Somebody eating
no,
our food.
no, Mr. Solomon, while I agree with you, the numbers might match up, but they never give back the treasury the change. So the money spent. And that is the level of sarcasm I have to use and not to get myself in trouble. I never hear the Ministry of Education did not utilize the funds and they give it back to the treasury. I never hear a transaction like that ever happen.
That's a very good point you're making, brother.
Right? So, and it's not just Ministry of Education alone. I never hear any ministry.
All of them.
Right? So, now look at it this way. How does the allocations work when the expenditures don't be accounted for, but the money is already disbursed?
The lawyer could give you a little answer there.
Well, Senior Counsel, he step out for a minute. Anyhow, guys, are looking at the time, and I think it's 9:30 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This is where we try to wrap up this segment for tonight, and just want to extend a couple minutes for the guys on the Coliseum to make their final comments, their final contributions before we wrap up. So. The microphone is open again, guys, just in case you want
One more thing, Brother Mac.
Yes, sir.
One more thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm not seeing Brother Tall Black anymore, but I will like very much to let Brother Tall Black know that here what happening. I'm going to maintain my status as a poor man. And seeing that he's going to pay the property tax next week, ask them kindly to pay mine for me too. Thank you very much.
Kelly, always looking for fight. He always looking for some fight in school. Anyhow, guys, it is nice fun. It's nice. So share the link. Invite your friends and neighbors to join us every Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on www.caribbeanpulse.net. Yes, it is our community radio station where you all have access to promote, to advertise, to sell whatever you're selling in your community as well. So contact us at 2976756 to advertise with us. Email your information, your music, your local content to caribbeanpulse21@gmail.com so that we can give you some airplay as well. Let me say a special thanks to Lady IB, Mr. Russell Kova, who senior counsel, he mentioned earlier on that he was in sick bay, but he still tag on with us for the entire program. And we're still waiting on the final comments from the other guys. Quickly. Brother Sheldon, Brother John, Brother Russell. Mm-hmm.
So I would say to Trinidad and Tobago, it's time that we start thinking for ourselves, thinking of what we want for our children, grandchildren, and the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And don't let nobody dictate the pace. We have a voice too. We, the common man on the ground, have a voice. And by rights, let your voice be heard. That's my contribution.
Correct. Let your voice be heard. Hey, senior counsel Backman. So guys, Mr. Russell, Ramkisun, any final contributions?
Yes, I have contributions. Now, it will go along these lines very similar to Mr. Solomon. However, I would like people in Trinidad and Tobago to remember that whatever decisions we make now, it will affect later down the road. And remember, value for money is not going to be achieved and attained through the property tax or any other project that this government is proposing. They have manipulated the law in such a way that they could take money from and redistribute it to whoever and however they want to do. And the last 8 years have shown us that they don't have the people of Trinidad and Tobago's interest at heart. So be smart with your voting and also be smart with your actions.
Great. Be smart with your voting and be smart with your action. Nice, man. Great contribution. And to the moderator, Mr. Nugget, how you rate the program tonight? Was it balanced? Are we truly the fence line? Are we truly the hardcore speakers? Are we the champion of politics in Trinidad and Tobago? Brother Russell Kova, any closing comments?
You see, for the longest while on fence line, we are saying the present day government is in a dictatorial mood. That is for sure. We go back, and this is what you see when you have people like I just call out people, and I calling out Brother Blacks because when you have people like him, we going to suffer because he only call out the sugar factory. What about the corruption in Wassa? What about the corruption in local government? What about the corruption in other areas? Corruption right through, that is why we see the problem. And if we do not repeal the property tax, we will be in big trouble because if you notice, according to how they slated, a lot of people are being exempted. Because even before the property tax, but they drop tax exemption until 25 for his building, the building down the road in Port of Spain. So the people in Trinidad and Tobago, we have to vote wisely. And as Russell said, if we vote wisely, we are on the precipice and we are going on fast enough, slowly but surely. Throw open to somebody else, brother Mark.
So we're just asking Brother Sheldon for his closing comments tonight. The Observer.
Well, what I have to say is that I am not too much into the politics thing, and I was very much informed with all the leaders tonight who have all the experience. I listened not very attentively, and I thanks for all the information I received tonight. So with that said, I want to wish everybody a good night and a safe night. If anybody had to travel anyway, safe journey and just keep doing. Let me just keep doing what we're doing and elevating, uplifting, and educating each other. Have a good night.
Well, right back to you, my brother. And we want to wish you as well a safe night wherever you at, wherever neck of the wood. But sorry for that. I'm having a little short on the microphone here. However, good thing, or when we're having fun, time really flies. We want to thank Mr. John Solomon, Al Ishmael, John Williams, Mr. Russell Ramkisoon, Mr. Russell Coover, Sister IB, and Mr. Kalinda. And this is where we stand as a fence line group. We accommodate people from all walks of life. We are not discriminated against your political allegiance and your political obedience and your political affiliation and your political loyalty. If you are happy and you are comfortable with the way your favorite parties on undertaking the affairs of the citizens, I won't say country, please don't complain to me anymore. And
I hope my brother who's not feeling well feel better too.
yes, man.
He said he wasn't talking much, but he had a lot to say.
Speedy
But I mean,
recovery.
he must be feeling a lot better.
No, well, when the talk get exciting, politics have how they call it? It have a morality of its own. And when you love something, it is jumping, regardless of what. So, guys, again, as we come to the end of tonight's segment of the Fence Line Hardcore Community Open Mic, once again, I want to thank all our listeners, our sponsors, the Bone Cargo and Wholesale store out there at Palsico Junction. We want to thank the Living Cool Air Conditioning and, of course, Erica's Homestyle Fried Chicken and the Long Stretch Sports Bar out there in San Francisco. Yes. So, guys, remember to advertise with us. Call us at 297-6756 and email at caribbeanpulse21@gmail.com. Share the link www.caribbeanpulse.net. Help us to go viral, and this is where we wrap up tonight's segment. Let me say good night as well to Mr. Doctor Maraj out there in Toronto and all our foreign listeners. I know we have a wide range of listeners out there in Toronto. Thanks to Mr. Maraj for sharing the link and for encouraging our broadcast to the Trinidadians who is residing out there. So I'm yours truly again, wrapping up tonight's segment on behalf of the community of Palasico and environs and my beautiful, sunny Twin Island state, Trinidad and Tobago. Southwestern Action Group presents the Fence Line Hardcore Community Open Mic segment right here on www.caribbeanpulse.net. Let your voice be heard. Join us now as we expose the truth.
They could come from bottom or top. Let me help Gary lock them up.
Alabadei, alabadai. Mass illiteracy in this country affecting the youths in society. I'm talking to young people here in this land. I want you to give me your attention. You're raping, you're shooting, you're kidnapping. Too much of movies, all you're watching. Forgetting education, that is the key. To be successful in society. So as a council parent, this is my plan. To save the future generation. We just cannot continue in this way. We must invest in them children today. Because if we don't, we will have to pay. We must invest in them children, I say. Role models is a scarce commodity. In this modern society, single parent unemployment seems to be the norm. Children live unsupervised and I could go on. I saying failure is not an option. It's your choices and making good decisions. Building a stronger society, we need to have a stable economy. So as a concerned parent, this is my plan. To save the future generation. We just cannot continue in this way. We must invest in them children today. Teach them the watchwords of this nation and to live up to greater expectations. We need to encourage the youths of today and protect them from going astray. Teach them the importance of family values, to persevere in whatever they do. The sky is the limit, that should be your goal. Put aside all the negative things of this world. Remember, you could be what you want to be. It's you who in charge of your destiny. So as a concerned parent, this is my plan. To save the future generation. We just cannot continue in this way. We must invest in them children today. As we pledge our lives to thee, living in peace, love and unity.
Attention, experience incredible new music.
From Trinidad to the world, welcome to the hottest new platform on internet radio.
Add us to your favorites.
Add us to your favorites.
Add us to your favorites.
And keep your browser locked.
Keep your browser locked.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of
Caribbean Pulse Global Broadcasting Network.
You're logged on to Caribbean Pulse Radio.
Crank the volume.
Yeah, man, this is Kenny J, and you're listening to Caribbean Pulse Entertainment Radio. All I want is sweet soca. Give me plenty sweet soca.
Music was cranking up, and the music lovers was set on fire. Yes, the people's music, sweet Calypso, was lifting people higher and higher. Vibrations emanating from the Twin Islands, reaching down to touch the soul of people around the world. Suddenly the pulse of the Southern Caribbean pulsated no more like before. Tears in the eye, and shame to cry. It ain't no lie, Calypso gone. Calypso gone. I'm looking for Calypso, I cannot see her. Calypso gone. I'm searching all over town, all that I could hear. Calypso gone. Calypso lovers can't believe the words in the air. Calypso gone. What happened to Calypso? This is what they say. Calypso gone. Don't know where she gone. Calypso gone. When the homies came down from foreign soils with the tourist posse to hear Calypso, was a fresh up feeling to hear the songs of Brother Stalin, Tambu or Shadow, Crazy Super Blue Designer, the list just grows. Sisters Dennis Palmer, Francine Calypso Rose, mashing up Calypso tent and rocking the road. Now the greatest show ain't so great no more. Tears in the eye, and shame to cry. mother showcase, singing fine on the back